Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's doing great. I kind of threw away my normal CD. Oops, on accident. And so I don't know how much of this I can actually get away with playing before I potentially run the risk of being in trouble, but I hope everybody out there is doing amazing. I don't know if you guys know this song. Anyone know this song, by the way? The 8 of you that are here so far? Curious. Live Q&A. Hope everybody is ready to bring their questions to the game. I'm going to stop pulling this down before I... Anyway, yeah, I've got to work on getting music that I can play. Again, I destroyed that CD on accident. I thought it was a different CD that I had, and so did not properly do that. So there you go. That's kind of how sometimes mistakes are made. We were having a lot of fun chit-chatting in here, by the way. Some people logged in really early. And of course, we're letting some people spin up and join us here. But also one thing I want to remind everyone as well, you've got questions, please bring them to the table. If you've got comments, if you've got success stories, if you've got anything at all that you kind of want to, talk about, bring it up in chat. We'll get a mention. We'll get your name out there. Certainly want to say hi to people too as well. We got Kim W's been in here. Neville, of course, has been hanging out. I don't know if you guys know this, but Neville, although maybe passed away a number of years ago, no, he's reincarnated within our chat room here. Neville, thank you so much for being here. Christina, Kim W. All you guys, where else we got? Someone else was chimed in up here a bit ago, but that being said, we also had someone that had a good question. It was Neville, actually, earlier on, and he had asked one thing. When I am doing the visualizations at night, sometimes I feel that I am pressuring. And I think one of the things that a lot of us need to keep in mind is that you're not necessarily forcing it. It's not an effort. What the experience should be, hopefully, so whatever your desire is, obviously it's something that you maybe don't have yet, right? You're living in the end, right, for a reason. So when you think about it, it should be something that inspires a positive feeling. It should be something that feels good. And in fact, what he says, and really a big part of it, is the I have it now component really is true when you're imagining it and thinking that you're in the end and all that good stuff. So it's important to try to feel what it's like to have that. And hopefully this doesn't... Cool, look at that. It's all working. I was afraid like no one could hear me. But yeah, so... that is one of the things you want to try to do is you want to try to get to the feeling. It's the most important aspect of it all. So hopefully that kind of makes a difference with that. Also, someone had brought up too, empath. I don't know if any of you out there are into or have realized you're empathetic or empathic. It's an interesting concept that happens to some of us as we awaken. I'm kind of that way, and it's sort of detrimental to a point. I'll maybe tell a small example story. But empathic people, as you start to awaken, as you become more and more aware of others and others' feelings and just the feelings in general. Again, feelings is soul level, soul language. Everything's about feelings. That's why manifestation's all about feelings. It's why I think it's such a gateway into the awakening process. A lot of us trying to get into manifestation. Again, all of these things tie together in my life purpose, which is to try to help awaken people on this planet during this wonderful time in history. But that being said, again, the whole process sometimes will bring about the ability to pick up on what others are feeling, sometimes what others are thinking, and you start to become oddly sensitive with your extrasensory feelings, right? So you have your physical senses of touch, taste, smell, sight, speaking, whatever they are, right? The 5 of them. You've also got extrasensory versions of those, or a sixth sense version of those, and that is kind of where the empathic type stuff tends to show itself, as well as, like I said, in your mind, you can think it, and that's kind of one of the versions of the way this stuff will play out for you. But it's very common in the awakening process to get into there and really start to experience what other people feel. Now, the thing I want to say, it was funny, is a very good friend of mine passed away. I don't know, he passed away back in December, but he finally had his service. First off, it was open casket, which, by the way, I'm kind of weird as it is with death already. Like, I think, we just passed to the other side. I don't really think it's a big deal. I certainly don't think we reside in the body. I think it's very strange how bodies immediately change after death. I don't know how many of you have actually been around someone that's passed away, but the life drains from them instantly, and they go from to a almost gray color. In fact, my best friend watched his wife pass away a couple years ago. And even he was like, yeah, no, even if they're hooked up to machines. And it's just like, it's true. So it's weird when the life is taken out of a body that you've seen and loved and adored, that feeling, that color, that light, it's not there anymore. It's really weird. So anyway, seeing the body was very strange, but I was there to see his wife. His wife was a dear friend of mine. And just everyone that walked into that room and saw my good friend in the casket and just started crying. And my God, that tore me. I started crying. Every single freaking person that walked into that room, I'd start crying. I'm like, I can't stay here. This is too much. I can't. So there, there are ways that it can be kind of a pain in the butt. You can block it. You can say, hey, I block everybody from all this, or I block myself. I block the feelings. And just consciously block and put up your blockers. I try not to do that because I find that it's a way to maybe miss out on stuff. Like I really do feel like feelings are everything. So I don't know. That's Dan RadioStyle in a nutshell. Let's see if we got any questions in here. So much stuff going on. And again, if you guys have Q&A, that's like what we're here for. Share questions. There's 38 of us or whatever. Share questions. If you got pointers you want to throw out there, something that's working for you, something that's not. This is like hanging out. I really do want to kind of try to start something where we just all hop together and have a discussion. I want to get some other people to join, like Agnes. I think I'm recording with her a little later today. For those of you that know Agnes Vivarelli, I'll be chatting with her. Scott from something Revolution, whatever that is. Again, all Reality Revolution, all this stuff. Like I love the idea of getting these big groups together, and maybe it's that radio background I have, who knows, but I'm very, very into that kind of stuff, so hopefully you guys can help along with that. Let's see, we've got people, by the way, they've been talking about going to the Maldives, so if anyone out there's been to the Maldives and you want to share any sort of cool places, I got a couple people in this chat room right now that are probably just drooling down their face right now, so again, any good restaurants in the Maldives, please share. It would be very, very cool. All right, on to free. Hey, Dan, what progress have you made with manifesting lately? What do you mean by that? First off, you're asking a question about what physical world examples can I demonstrate. So that's kind of funny. But I'm going to say this. So I work remote for my company. This is odd because I just had this happen yesterday. I work remote for my company that I work with or for. I don't want to say who it is because it's not really important. It is, though, one of the largest media companies in the world. But I work remotely. I work in IT. Basically, I'm a business analyst / product owner, blah, blah, blah. Product I have has $4 billion a year that goes through it right now in advertising revenue, so it's pretty freaking awesome. So just had my yearly review with my boss. My boss doesn't know me. He's never worked with me really. I've been out there a couple times to visit, but they're all out in Texas, and I went and visited. Long story short, he's heard so much great stuff from all the different people that everything's groovy and great. So he gave me raving reviews and said life's awesome. I let him know some of my background with radio. I let him know about my channel. And after having a quick, brief discussion with him, he had also said, hey, there's probably some other avenues and things that we can utilize you for because of my speaking abilities and all those kinds of things. So that being said, expansion is happening in that frontier for me constantly. On top of that, I just got my check from Google for the YouTube channel. So that's growing every single month, just extra money on top of the money I'm already making. So when you talk about what am I manifesting, I'm manifesting expansion and growth. I've had my 2-year anniversaries next month. We're actually going out to Vegas for a day with the girlfriend that I manifested, right? That's 2 years now almost. So I don't know, what have I done lately? Got a bunch of stuff going on, man. I'm constantly manifesting and will continue to do so. Talk to me in 5 years and you'll probably be amazed at where I'm at. So yeah, so that's kind of 1 to 3. That's sort of where I'm at with the whole thing. I kind of feel like it's braggadocious to talk about myself, but I also understand that some people want to hear it, right? So whatever, there you go. Don Champion, nice to see you in there. Kinjo51, I feel like that's a new name. That's cool. Here's one. I hope you have a follow-up question coming. But greetings, Mr. Champion. Autumn Beauty, very nice to see your name in here. Lisa Marie, hello. Awesome. Who's Ange, probably, maybe? I don't know. Hi, all. You got asterisks, though. It's like a wild card. I love it, all right? You never know. Karen and Jeffrey, is this Jeffrey? Or are you... Because I love how you always say that when you comment. Hi, it's Jeffrey, because you guys share, I'm assuming. Or is it both you guys? That would be cool if it was both of you. Hey, Karen and Jeffrey, I'd love it if you'd chime in. Pearl, that's a pretty cool last name, by the way. Let's see. Autumn Beauty. Christina, pretty girl. Hey, pretty girl's in here, too. Cool. Julie Matthews, good morning. Welcome, Natrina. Nice to see you as well from Greece. Greece is a time, is a place, is a motion. No, not feeling it? I don't know. I think we should start dancing. Someone was talking about there was some Bee Gees music. What was the song you had stuck in your head? I don't want to put it back in your head, but anyway. Katrina Walking on Sunshine was where we tried to get her off of her song. It's almost in my head. She can hear it. It's back in her head now. Ha sucker. Anyway, Gary, nice to see you. Life is a gas, that's for sure. Love it when we have it. Peter Cast, welcome, sir. Can you talk a bit about how much subconscious work we need to do? Subconscious, so here's the way, I don't know, here's where I'm at with it right now. I've been reading a lot of stuff on subconscious. Murphy and Goddard's been talking some about it too, but here's where I'm at with the subconscious, or kind of where I see it as. I feel like the subconscious is, I don't know, I've been saying the ship. I'm going to use a slightly different analogy. I kind of feel like it's the auditorium, right? And you're like the principal, right? You are in charge of the school. And the subconscious is basically all the teachers and the students, maybe. Let's go with the boat. I like the boat analogy better. All right, you're the captain of your ship. Sorry, I'm going to change it. Probably never go back to the other one. Captain of the ship, and you've got your crew. Your crew's going to do whatever you say. The subconscious mind is basically just runs off and takes care of business. Just takes care of whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want to do. If you're up on the ship at the helm with your hands on the wheel, whatever your vision of running a ship is, or sailing a ship, I should say. But whatever that is, whatever you declare about yourself, your subconscious goes, all right, I'm running off. So if you're thinking bad stuff about yourself, if you're saying bad stuff, if you're ripping on yourself, if you're thinking poorly of yourself, if you're like, I don't know, I'm not good enough, I can't seem to do this, blah, blah, blah. She's not going to think I'm attractive, me. If you're thinking about that, your subconscious mind runs out and makes your assessments happen. So if, for example, we think that our specific person isn't going to find us attractive because we've got an ugly face in our minds, whatever, I'm just saying something crazy, right? So I believe I got an ugly face. Your subconscious mind will run out to her before you ever see her and say, hey, psst, 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 he's got an ugly face. And when it does that, and she finally meets you, she's going to be like, oh my God, right? And she's going to probably run away and scream. That's your subconscious mind just doing what you asked it to do. Now, conversely, if you want to say, I'm a pretty decent looking guy, right? Like a girl, right? And I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, good looking, right? Like I'm an attractive person. My eyes are in the right place. My nose is pretty straight, sort of, and whatever. It is what it is. But like you have confidence in yourself. Well, then your subconscious runs on out to the person. And when she bumps into you, she's like, oh, what a very pleasant looking individual. Oh, right? It helps you create the scenarios that you believe are happening. There's no work per se to do with the subconscious. Now, I will say that we do have deep injuries sometimes in our subconscious, things that have happened in the past. Opening up to that, being open to help clear these things from your body and mind and soul and being and whatever is a good idea for sure. And things will bubble up. Things will physically show up in your universe that suck. And it allows you a chance to face it, deal with it, hug it, and let it go. And again, contrast. Even if something sucky is showing up in your life, sometimes it's just contrast that you're letting go of. Sometimes it's just something that surfaced. And when it surfaces and you see it and you're like, oh, this hatred I have of people, or this fear I have, or this, oh my God, I just caught myself saying I'm not good enough. Like, oh my God, I say that all the time. It's oh my God, I say, oh my God, too much, right? Whatever your thing is when you start to see it and you realize it, you can change it. It's instantly, once you're aware of something, you now have the ability to stop doing it. Again, everything is focus. So the way the subconscious will get us in trouble, if you will, is it'll say stuff like, you suck, and we're like, yeah, I do. And that's where the problem is. When the conscious mind agrees with these bad thoughts, not going in a good place, because again, your crew is going to be running off telling everybody you suck. But if you get them on board and you acknowledge that you are what you desired already, that you are the person, the right person for the job, that you are the right person for this individual, that you are a good individual that people enjoy, like there should be a number of cool things we say to ourselves throughout the day. All of us should say really nice things about ourselves, to ourselves, every single day, not just as affirmations, but as love, as a means of giving ourselves a hug. Like, good job on that, by the way. Like, you did that project pretty good. I was like patting myself. I'm like, hey, you have worked hard this year. It's cool that someone noticed it, right? So, again, giving yourself credit for all that, it's fantastic. I feel like I just talked for an hour and a half, so I'm very sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that helps. Let's see if I can get back to where I was. Let's see. Oh, volume up a notch. I'll try. Hey, hopefully that helps. Sorry, Lisa. Thank you. Yeah, it should be about as, hopefully loud enough. All right, good evening from India. Welcome, Shavanath Singaroy. I don't know. Say that. Dan, can I attract my SP? Now she is with someone else. I had a past relationship with her. I love her the most. Please help. Yes, you can. Absolutely. You can absolutely, for sure. Here's one thing for sure I can say that can happen. You can definitely attract opportunities to discuss with her, to present yourself to her, to be the best version of yourself with her. Now, if there are things that happened during the relationship that were troubling, say, for example, maybe you were not being nice, or maybe she wasn't being nice, or whatever, like there was some reason why you broke up. Have we looked at that? Have we addressed those issues? Because ultimately, it's still relationships with people. Now, the way to change anybody, I'm going to borrow something. I don't teach this, and I'm not saying it the way everyone means it, but I'm going to use the words because it's so freaking common. But it's you pushed out essentially, and the way you feel on the inside about yourself, about your relationship, about who you are representative to her. Like, am I good enough for her? Are you holding things like she's probably still angry with me, or I'm still angry with her? Like, how are you internally about the situation with you guys? Are you scared? Are you coming at it from weird energies? And if you are, that's kind of at a disadvantage. So you've got to work on those aspects of knowing, one, that I definitely get a chance to present myself again to this individual. I love them with all my heart, and I'm going to be and am the best choice for them. When you come at it and realize that I am the best choice for them, that they will definitely enjoy being with me over anybody else, when you keep telling your crew that that's what's going on, that the captain's the bomb, and you need to declare it before anybody else, I am the shizzle. Let you guys help me prove that to the rest of the world. And they will. It's amazing. They're like the best marketing campaign people ever. And they'll run out there and they'll praise you. So if you're coming at it from that angle, if you're seeing you and her coming together again, yes, you're envisioning that situation, bam, you're going to create that physical reality in time space. Then when you stand before her, because you've already managed to become the shizzle, you've already managed to become that which she is going to be attracted to, no question about it, she's going to see you and her stuff's going to light up. And you guys will start having the discussion and start moving down that path. So that's how I recommend stepping up to the plate. I know a lot of people just kind of simplify it, I think. I think there's a little more to it. I could definitely get you in front of them for sure. And then if you understand that you are it already, if you've got that component down, then you're set, you're solid, and you should probably strike. I mean, it should be a touchdown. You should be going all the way. It should be a goal. It should be a hole in one. I don't know what other analogies. It should be nothing but net, right? Whatever, whatever works for you. It should definitely be that. I'd do the goal for football, soccer. I would do that, but I would have to I would waste a minute just saying goal forever, and we don't want to do that. That's ridiculous. So hopefully that helps you. And Karen and Jeffrey Pearl, manifesting is speeding up for us. It sure is for all of us. And you guys are working on some cool thing. I thought you were live somewhere this weekend. You can throw that in there if you want. I'll definitely open it up if it lets you. I think some city out here. I forgot what state, but you're out here in the States, I believe. Anywho, Gary, what's going on? Been listening to Pink Floyd. Dude, first off, at my radio station, when I was at the big station, they started the Midnight Floyd Fix because I was there. And yeah, dude, I got to start every single shift off with 3 Pink Floyd songs. I loved it. Radio was fun. Bad pay when I was a DJ, horrible pay, in fact, but it was so much fun. It was a great job. But yeah, Neville, don't let toxic people affect you. You can observe, don't engage. Hey, that brings up kind of a good thought. Thank you, Karen and Jeffrey Pearl. One thing that happens, like a lot of us, we talk about how you shouldn't discuss your manifestations with other people. This is one of the reasons. People discuss and will have things to say about it. They start to activate thoughts within us. It's just one of those things where some people aren't ready for where you're maybe at in your belief in what you're doing in your reality and your understanding of how manifestation works. Some people maybe aren't ready for that. And I know we want everybody to understand it. We want to stand up on the rooftops and be like, ladies and gentlemen, right? We want to scream it. But alas, not everybody's ready for it. And the people that aren't, sometimes will sabotage you. Sometimes will just straight not believe you, which is fine. Sometimes will pretend they believe you, but ask questions that make it difficult. Not even pretend, but maybe actually believe you. But then ask difficult questions when you're trying not to pay attention to your outer reality. Because again, what you change inside becomes the outside. Again, it's one of those things. Toxic people can have a very, very detrimental effect on your, one, thinking process, and then two, I think, which kind of was probably your point, was your energy. Like, one, they can just be vampires and drain your energy, but two, just being around people that are toxic, it can make it very, very challenging. Kim W. is saying, I have read being an empath is superpower, but I'm finding it to be a pain in the butt. Well, it's funny. If you look at some of the superpower concepts, not all of them are necessarily cracked up to what they're, used to, or what you would think they would be. I think the Midas, right, is one of the greatest stories or fables we have. Is Midas with his golden touch, and everything he touched turned to gold, which everyone would be like, yeah. But then you realize, I can't touch people, I can't touch animals, I can't pet, I can't hold my daughter. Like, all of a sudden you start to realize, oh no, wait, okay, so I want it sort of perfect, but not right. And we start to get into some of those pains. So yes, being empathetic or an empath is it can be a bit of a challenge sometimes, but it also allows you to feel some very amazing things. And so, I don't know. I wouldn't take it back, but I agree with you. It's got its challenges at times, for sure. That's right. Oh, cool. I feel like I went backwards. I hate when it jumps. I feel like I've gone backwards here, and I apologize. Cool. So we got, what else we got? North Star. Okay, cool. Dan, hi. I'm 15 minutes late. So happy to be here. I'm so happy you're here. And I'm 15, so it took me 6 minutes to get there. Purple Lava 77. Nice to see you. Speaking blessings, love, peace, joy, prosperity all over the world. And people saying hi. I just love the fact that I think you guys are here for each other almost as much. I don't know. Dan, you're awesome. Thank you. You're fantabulous. You are just saying hi to a lot of people. Okay, Kim. If we had a drinking game of every time a LOA YouTuber said you pushed out, we'd all die of alcohol poisoning. I can't talk, but yes, for sure. The you pushed out thing is very frustrating. I've been tasking, I'm so sad I dropped your name. Lisa Marie, there you go. So sorry. Been tasking her. She's been throwing me some stuff here and there where the quotes are. But again, I'm finding it's proving my point, but it's not one that I like to talk about because you pushed out is a really popular thing right now. So I don't want to tread on that. I think it's more of a speak to it rather than I totally disagree. 'Cause it's not that. Like I keep saying, it's like the 10% of it I have a problem with. And I think sometimes it's misunderstood, I think, among a lot of people. Now, maybe one of these days I'll get the courage to do a show on it. Purple Lava, yes, I can understand it. Okay, I see if I can find any questions. And by the way, just to remind people, if you got any questions, post them in there. If you got something that you've been trying that's working well for other people, or for yourself, I should say, but you're trying to manifest something and something you've been getting some really good experiences with, share. Yeah, throw a share in here, and we'll share that with everybody else. Let's see, we are hosting an event in Copper Mountain, Colorado. Be posting lots of videos on the channel and we'll go live as well. So that's Karen and Jeffrey Pearl. Awesome. Yeah, I probably can find him on other videos. I don't know how you can share in here because I don't normally let others, and then it's like, where do you draw that line, right? But yeah, check them out if you guys can. Do a search. I'm sure there's something out there, but look for them if you're anywhere in that area especially. Let's see. Love being an empath, but it's about learning how to use it. Yeah, learning how to use it's probably a fun way to say it. That's cool. Purple Lava, thank you. Conservative Truth Network. Good morning, Vietnam. Have you manifested anything big lately that you've really been wanting for a while? And if not, do you think you are on the brink of manifesting it? I'm constantly manifesting stuff. It's like an expansion for me. I'm not at a place in my life where I'm trying to manifest a thing. I'm expanding. So my career, which I kind of shared earlier, is going very well. I just had my review. So that's awesome. And then on top of that, I've got this YouTube thing that's expanding in a lot of very, very wonderful ways. I mean, everything's awesome. So have I manifested anything successful lately? I don't know. Just expansion. Trying to think if there's even anything at all that I'm trying. Yeah, there's not really anything I'm trying to manifest at the moment. I mean, a girlfriend 2 years ago, even that's boring now. So I don't know. Probably nothing, maybe. I don't. Kim, I would be glad to help you with that if you like. It's, coffee. No, we've got some of the conversations going on. I would like to know a secret, clever way to get an object faster. I find the second we come at it from that angle, Christina, you already separate yourself from it. You're already seeing it as a separate thing, and you're like, how can I have it quicker? When you have it now, that's as fast as it can be, right? So that's where you're separating yourself from it. You've got this idea that I don't have it now. I want to get it quicker. How can I do that? And you can't, because you actually have to realize I have it now, hold that realization, hold that feeling, and then it trickles into the physical world, and in a moment's time you experience it. That would be my recommendation. Lisa Marie, fully understand you pushed out either. How can someone working in a store, for example, get a nice customer, then immediately after that get a rude customer? See, that's the part, that's the 10%. You guys are getting right into it, and that's cool. I love the fact that we're talking about it. Boy, you try to tap dance on this one, and sometimes people get very angry. But Lisa Marie, so I guess I said I don't really understand it. Right, so a lot of us experience things in life. Sometimes we are there to help other people's movies. Sometimes they're there to help our movies. What we tend to project onto people for sure is us pushed out. But this idea that, like, I am you, that's the way that that's where I start to go, we're all unique, separate. Like, Lisa Marie, you're not me, and I'm not you. I mean, we're all one. There is that universal spiritual thing, and I think that's what causes a lot of confusion. But ultimately, I think we're still individualizations of a single source, call it God to make it easy, but we're all individualized pieces of that, experiencing ourselves separated from the source. So we are all one, we are all connected, we are a lot of things, but we're also, I think, separate experiences of God. And I feel like there's a lot of places where people think that other people are literally themselves and that they should be able to do whatever they want. And I guess the thing that, here's the final little crux of it where I think it's not quite what a lot of people say. But say, for example, say I'm an abusive guy. Say I had a girlfriend and I used to I physically abused her. I've never done this in my life, I promise. I've never struck anyone in anger, but supposedly I am this bad, horrible person. And she finally breaks up with me because she finally realizes she loves herself enough to be with someone that loves her rather than someone that's violent, even though she, quote, loved me. Now, if I was to come at that from a she is me pushed out, I should be able to manifest a relationship with her even though she's escaped me. I find that to be a challenging situation because that's like slavery. Like, I should be able to trap them in my life even though they don't want to be there. And that's where I have a huge problem. And that's where I think Goddard speaks to it, by the way, and says, if you're asking them to do something they don't want to do or that's not natural for them, it will reflect back on you. And I do think Goddard expresses it, but I've literally gone looking for places where Goddard talks about manifesting relationships, where Goddard himself does. He talks about the marriage thing in a few places. I found that. But finding him talking about manifesting, I saw him talking about manifesting a relationship with a specific person, and he actually tried to talk her down the path of, well, don't you actually want to be married? So he even tried to talk her out of a specific person. So I don't know. There's a weird thing around that whole thing, and I think a lot of YouTube creators have taken his words out of context and have just created all sorts of money for themselves. They've become quite successful saying this stuff, but I don't know if it's totally true. So that being said, let's see. Lindell, did you, when you were nice to others, did you say when you are nice to others, others are nice to you? It's that simple. Jesus said that in the Bible too. Yeah, do unto others as you would want others to do to you. The golden rule, I think, definitely has worked well for me in my life. I will say it's opened more doors for me than anything at all, frankly. It's fantastic out there. By the way, for those of you that are joining, if anyone's got questions, comments, queries, things that are working for you, share, please. This is a great little hangout time talking about different questions that people are going to have. So we got a girl's diary. How can I stop missing my SP and not remember him when I'm not visualizing? I kind of feel like he's not with me right now. How do I stop this when in the 3D world, he's not with me? Okay, so in one sentence, girl's diary, and this is kind of where I think you've got to understand the changes are going to come with inside of yourself. You are so aware of the fact that he's not with you. You got a number of places where he's not with me. I'm not thinking it right now. Like you've got him on your mind a lot, and that's great. And love him. And so that's the thing is, I feel like you're trying to resist. Like I shouldn't think about him. I shouldn't think about him. I'm supposed to let go. I want to think about him. Think about him. That's fine. Who cares? Love him. That's fine. It's okay to love them. That's kind of the living in the end thing. You do love him. That's fantastic. And every time he pops into your head, just be like, it's all working out. Everything's in process. Like that's the words I use. Again, Goddard says in but a moment's time. He doesn't say, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. He says in but a moment's time. The second you create the manifestation, you create in the 3D world a number of steps that will get you from here to there. And there is wherever it is. Is it 5 steps away? Is it 12 steps away? Is it 18 steps? I don't know. It's a certain number of steps away, and it will happen in but a moment's time. When you come at it from that angle, I think you will feel better about this whole experience that you're having, because I feel like right now you're trying really hard to resist something, and you can't resist it. What you resist persists. So embrace it. Accept it. Love it. You think about him. Of course, he's your SP. Why wouldn't you? I know the letting go thing can be angry. It's just confusing. But just letting it go from the standpoint of if they pop into your head, enjoy them, love them, cool. Think about something fun, like maybe you just walked by a restaurant and you're looking forward to going there and it's all happening. All this stuff's working out right now. Woohoo, life's great. Moving on. And then continue, work, have hobbies, have things that fill some of your time. I mean, if you're literally not doing anything throughout the day and you're just like constantly get a job, get a hobby, get a dog, get something maybe to help fill some of that empty time. Start reading more maybe, but even though I know my mind might wander too if I read. But again, find something positive to work on. Get a hobby, get a job, start making puzzles. I don't know, whatever might work for you. Hopefully I kind of get you in the right direction. Let me know if you can follow up with another question if you need to. Let's see here. We got all sorts of stuff going on. You can't... Okay, so Lisa Marie, you can't place time constraints on the quantum as time does not exist. All that exists is now, the present moment. You're right, but here's the thing, though. I mean, Lisa, you're right. Here's the small thing on it. Moments exist. We experience moments. All the time has already occurred, but we're choosing to step through it in a series of steps. Experiences. Life is experiential. I don't care what any author says. We've all experienced life. And this leads to that, leads to this, leads to that. It's just how it generally works. You don't just walk outside and then suddenly you've got a Rolls Royce sitting in your parking spot when last night you had a Honda Civic. That's not how it works. You build to it. You work through it. You expand up to it. Yes, you can manifest something. Yes, you can manifest a Rolls Royce. I'm not saying you can't, but things generally have that process of experiences. And Goddard talks about a number of steps that lead us to where we're going. So from the quantum, yes, it physically exists, but the step of time to get to where it's condensed into physical reality from the quantum level or the etheric level, it's that step in there. And I agree that quantum would suggest you could have it instantly, but that generally is not the experience, except in the times when maybe, I think perception kicks in and you're like, hey, I wonder if that sign's going to fall over. And you didn't manifest that. You didn't just make the sign fall over. You just were aware of the fact that that was about to happen. Now, when a sign falls over, does it make a noise? That's the big question right there. Okay, Karen and Jeffrey. Dan, it seems you are doing what you like, so you are living a version of your best life, which is why you are not trying to manifest a big change. Yeah, I mean, that's it, I think. Yeah, I'm living my purpose. I'm just happy. I'm happy every day of my life, man. Life is good. It is great, and I'm enjoying the expansion. And yeah, you're right on the money. Thank you. Thank you for helping me see that better. And congrats to you as well. You guys are, I think, living the dream as well. Dan, you are wrong. Take off your mask. Okay, Lisa Marie, I'll take off my mask. You got it. Anything for you. Where'd we go? All right. I enjoy listening to you, but you like a really good podcast. Thank you, Kim Lu. Oh, like a good podcast. Cool. I do a podcast, by the way, too. So if you're looking for that, any one of your podcast places, you should be able to find it. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to take any more of your stuff right now. Let's see here. Truth Network. Yes, expansion is important so that we can ascend higher to who we really are. When we maintain a state of feeling good as often as we can, desired stored in our vibrational escrow will manifest. Yeah, I like the vibrational escrow. I always dug that when Hicks talked about that. I thought that was a very, very cool thing. I think ultimately that's what it comes down to is, quote, being in the vortex as much as possible. When you're feeling good about life, when you're just feeling good in general, things just seem to happen better in life. It's just how it naturally is. I don't know. It's what I've noticed. It's what I've seen. I've seen it with other people. I've also seen people that just generally are always bummed out, and they seem to manifest a lot of similar stuff. It's kind of how that tends to play out. Kim W. I was emotionally and mentally abused as a child, and there's no way in hell anyone is going to tell me that was a 7-year-old pushed out. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, again, that's just one of those things. And then they've got rules, right? Well, no, us pushed out doesn't apply to children. Goddard said, all right. Again, it's such a frustrating conversation. And again, I don't, honestly, whatever you believe is true. That's honestly where I'm at. I just want you all to understand that. Like, you can believe something different than me. Totally cool. Now, if someone's coming at me and they're saying, here's what I'm trying to do, and here's what's going on, why is it not working? Well, let me help you with your beliefs. But when it comes to my beliefs, I don't expect anyone to believe what I believe. I'm sharing what I believe because I honestly think that's what I should do. But outside of that, no, if you believe something and you believe everything was you pushed out and they're literally you, oh man, run with it. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I don't want to debate it with you. I don't agree with that, but feel free. That's awesome. Tasmin Rahman. I told my guy I like him, and he said he has family issues going on that he needs to take care of, and he'll meet up with me when that's over. That was a month ago. Should I reach out to him? Yeah, if you want. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's enough time to work through his family issues. I would assume a month may not be enough, but I would just, I don't know, stay on the radar. I'd say hi. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily get too crazy too fast, right? But let's see if he's interested in communicating. Maybe what he's going through, maybe he needs a friend right now. I mean, there's a lot of potentials to how you could be closer to him, which I think is your desire, and that might be a good way to go about it. Peter Cass, sending vibes to have our meeting with a future client this Wednesday. Waiting for him to accept the meeting invite. No, get the waiting part out of there. Restate that with he's gonna accept, or he's accepting, or don't even worry about that. He's gonna accept, right? I know he's gonna accept. It's the weekend. I don't know how to say that. Like, you're right. The waiting part's tough, though. It's not a good word. I know that, but I don't know how to. I'd have to work on how to state that better. Let's see. The meeting invite for the date and time he agreed to. Please send good vibes. Yeah, good vibes for you, buddy. You're totally going to kick some boozle. And right, good on you for doing it. That's fantabulous. Let's see. Lucas de la Canal. Hey, Dan. After being fired from my job last year, I started smoking again. So I gave it a try to manifesting myself healthy without any cigarettes in my life. And something incredible happened. Good. Awesome. And it does help when you treat yourself better, when you love yourself more. They always say treat your body as a temple, right? Or your body is a temple and you should treat it better. A lot of that is really about loving ourselves. And if we don't care about ourselves and care enough to try to give ourselves the best chance, sometimes life just tends to show you the same thing. So it's not cool. Amy, hi Dan. What is the method you personally use to select the version of yourself or reality that you use? I don't do the reality transurfing thing, if maybe that's your question. And the reason is I'm very happy with my life. Like, I love my life. It might seem strange to people, but so the version of myself is, what do I desire to do? What do I believe I'm here to do as a person? And many people would argue and say we're not here to do anything. And I would, again, say you're right. My beliefs are, I believe, and I have believed my whole life that I've been here for a reason. I don't know, it just seems to be that way. And I enjoy doing it. It brings great joy to my heart. So again, it's one of those things where I try to do things that support what I enjoy. My dad taught me when I was very young, if you like what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And literally have tried to make that like really one of my central focal points of my existence. And I truly do enjoy life, man. It's good stuff. I enjoy every day. I wake up early. I'm happy to wake up. I look forward to it. And, I look forward to my job. I look forward to making videos. I look forward to chatting with you all. It's just, Saturdays especially. This is a great time for me. So I love it. All good stuff. Let's see. You recommended the Alan Carr method, and that made me stop smoking. Definitely. It's crazy. Thanks forever. No way. Okay, cool. Thanks. That was the Lucas de la Canal that kind of left me hanging. His little cliffhanger there for us. But yes, for those of you that do smoke and want to stop, and I mean when you finally get to the place where you really decide that you want to stop, but you realize it's a challenge, and it is. There's no question about it. Like anybody, I smoked for a long time, 21 years. It's over 6 years now. If you want to talk about something major I manifested, that was a huge one. I link a book in all of my videos. It's Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. And I've seen it named a few things. Quit smoking, I don't like that word, so I'd get the stop smoking version of it. But the first thing that won me over on it was like on the back cover, and it says, keep smoking while you read this book. And I'm like, all right, got nothing to lose. It's amazing. It deals with all the stuff that we as smokers would tell ourselves, and it allows you to really change your thinking about it. And the coolest part is after 24 hours of no smoking, 97% of the nicotine's out of your body. You're almost clean. 3 days, 100%, it's gone. So it's very fantastic how quickly your body heals from that whole ordeal as well. It's pretty cool. So that all being said. Girl's Diary, is it okay to put a time frame to manifest him? I'm almost 30 and I don't want to get married, my SP, when I'm 40. I'd want to... Okay, so the question I would... the question I would ask to you is this. Yes, do you want to put a time frame on it? Sure. Draw a line in the sand. Now, here's the question. What are you going to do when that happens? What are you going to do if that line is crossed? You kind of need to have a plan of action, because if the universe puts you at that place and you're like, well, whatever, and then what's the point of the time frame, in which case it never meant anything to begin with. But if you're actually serious about changing course and direction as of that date and telling the universe, hey, look, here's the deal, and I want to get this figured out, the whole, S or get off the pot, right? So I want to figure this out and get moving forward in my life. Do it. Like, I've done it before, but again, you've got to be ready to be able to go down that other avenue. Universe and source and other people's higher selves, manipulation doesn't work. You can try to be like, well, I was just trying to manipulate it to happen. Yeah, that won't work, and it'll backfire every single time. Like, every time you're trying to pull a fast one on the universe, don't think for a second it doesn't know exactly what your intentions and motives are. Hopefully that helps, but yeah, you can totally do it though. Don Champion, Dan, I keep thinking about Neville Goddard's experience with Abdullah. It reminds me that we only need to ask for something once, and our crew, I like it, follows the orders. How do we stay in receiving mode? I remind myself that things are in process. Now, again, for me, right now it's an expansion, so it's easier, I'll be honest. But from the standpoint of maybe trying to get a specific person to show up in our lives, or trying to get a promotion, or trying to get an interview for a company, just holding that place and realizing that this perfect thing is finding me, that I am finding my perfect path. And when we really keep ourselves in mind and keep telling our crew, look, we're on the straight and narrow, we're heading towards our goals, and we keep reminding them, hey, onward, follow me, we're going there, stuff will start to happen, people will pop in your path, like things begin to show that will just stay focused, realizing it's unfolding every day. I wake up, what's gonna show today? What do I get to experience today? What cool, awesome magic is in store for me today? And it makes for an awesome day, man. I wake up every day excited to see what's gonna be happening. So, I don't know, that's kind of where I come at it from. I hope that helps you out, Mr. Champion, because you deserve it. With the last name like that, that is fantastic. Christina, I think sickness is a way of saying we want control of what we do not have control of, and the illness part of the mechanism that stops us, and we are forced to care for ourselves and let it go. That's a really cool way of, I like that. And I think there's probably a great deal of truth to that. Absolutely. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that fits a very common belief held by many. So that, yeah, Christina, good stuff on that. Let's see. We want to be sick. Yeah. I don't want to keep talking about it, though, right? That's not cool. Gus, hey, Dan, hope you're doing well. I'm pretty well. Thank you, sir. You've helped me understand that it takes true courage in order to surrender to the Christ within. It can be very trying when your outer senses perceive differently. Gus, you are correct. I was just seeing if there's a follow-up question or more to it. Maybe there is. But yes, the outer world is what's changing. That's why I personally don't have as hard a time with it. I think the faith does come into play, as you said, understanding that Christ within myself is definitely helping me and is there to help me. That's happy to help me, like desires to help me. So I realize that what is happening in my physical reality right now is an afterthought, if you will. It's an after effect from what's going on inside of me. And so one thing I do is if I kind of like what's happening, I'm like, all right, well, keep doing what you're doing. It's working. You're experiencing grooviness on a daily basis, right? But if I'm noticing that I'm getting out of sync, I'm hitting more red lights. And by the way, that's one of the easiest ways I can tell that I'm already getting out of balance is I'll start to notice more traffic red lights. And I'm like, what is going on with this? And then I notice it, so I get more of them. And then it's like, no. And so what I do, like your key or your question, everything's cool. You're in sync. Life is grooving, man. You're where you need to be. Like, I just threw up through these affirmations, if you will. They're I am statements mostly, just acknowledging that I am a lot of great stuff. And maybe that sounds conceited, maybe it doesn't. But ultimately, if you're not your biggest fan, no one else is going to be your biggest fan. So I just try to be a bigger and bigger fan of myself every day, and hopefully that helps in the big picture. So yeah, see if that helps. But yeah, for sure, you got to kind of have faith in the process. That's why we've talked about starting small. But yeah, when you're getting into it, ultimately, if your outer world doesn't agree with what you're trying to create, cool, change it. Like, who cares? Like, yeah, that's why we're manifesting. Manifesting is like, I don't have a red car outside, so I'm going to manifest one. And then when I look outside and go, I don't see the red car yet. Like, I don't go, oh, it's never going to happen. Like, no, it's like, all right, well, I keep manifesting my red car. Like, keep seeing it, keep visioning it, keep imagining it, keep pretending, make-believing. It kind of works. But, yeah, keep working at it. But I don't like that word either, because working implies that it's an effort. I don't know, whatever. Find good words. Sometimes you've got to really work on it, because it can be. When you're just talking off the cuff, you'd be amazed, how many things we will say. David Lai, I've been manifesting my SP, and now I am seeing people that look like my SP. My SP is a ginger, and I am seeing ginger everywhere. How is that? Well, we talk about Anya, she called it birds before land. But yeah, when you start manifesting things, you'll start to see it. Like you manifesting a relationship, for example, and then all of a sudden your brother starts dating somebody, and you're like, what the hell? Why are other people falling in love around me? It's because it's around you. You're creating that energy within you, and that's how you know it's starting to crystallize into your real world. You're seeing what you're focusing on everywhere. So that's one of the ways you can tell that you're on the right path. And again, if you are attracted to gingers and you're seeing gingers everywhere, life sounds pretty good. Keep doing what you're doing. Sounds like it's working. So there you go. Purple Lava, that's exactly what it is, Dan. There you go. I don't know what that's in relation to, because it was a while ago. My truck guy is busy towing someone else right now. I love when you guys reference my little weird oddities. I always talk about, like, in the relationship, how sometimes in the past we're attracted to bad energies because we're not in a very loving place ourselves, right? We're not in a very high energy space ourselves, so we attract the truck driver, or the tow truck driver, as I call it. And then as we improve, a lot of the times we want to use law of attraction to change the tow truck driver into a stockbroker, when you could just meet a stockbroker right now and probably accomplish the same thing. So it's just funny how sometimes law of attraction is used. So very cool. I love when you guys do that. Where jumped to the hit? Wow, there's all sorts of stuff to show that. By the way, David, thank you. David Lai, that was awesome of you to donate. Thank you, sir. The super chats are really, really cool. Talk about something I manifested. That was actually one right there. I was like, let's get one this show. Let's do it. There's another one. Look at that. Fantastic. You guys are the best. Maybelline, hi Dan. Can you tell us about the paint next to you? I want to ask you about it, since there's a little thing in my videos. It's just part of the underneath the description and all that. Ultimately, it represents my master teacher. And then some people will say, oh, there's no such thing. All right, whatever. I worked very closely with a master teacher for a number of years. There's actually a drawing one of these days I'm going to share that my girlfriend, eons ago, but found this artist guy that would channel your number of 3 things, and what I wanted was my master teacher, and he drew a dude that was just like this. So that was a big reason why this picture became kind of cool to me, was it looked exactly like the image the dude drew. So whatever, but it's always kind of represented that to me. So it's just a special picture, and I'm very into magical and mystical and all that crazy stuff. I mean, always have been. I'm into the supernatural and very much enjoy it. So yeah, kind of where that comes from. Hope that helps. Let's see, Tim Wood, what'd you get at the 2012 predictions? Thought you was going to end. Yeah, that's a cool question, by the way. I like it. So, by the way, I'm very into the Mayan calendar. I'm very into what they were speaking about within cycles, and all that stuff, and closing out a huge cycle. So, yes, do I believe we did? Absolutely. Did I ever believe that the end of the world was going to occur? No, never. Not once. Not even ever once. But what I do believe happened, and Brian Scott and I actually chatted about it. Reality Revolution, I think was the name of his channel. He was a really good guy. I like that. But we chatted about it, and there was supposedly in 2012 a fixed timeline was chosen, or an actual timeline was chosen during that time frame. And there was 2 paths that us as a planet had the opportunity to go down. One supposedly required about 90% of humanity dying from wars, famines, and all sorts of other fun stuff. And the other one was the path that supposedly we're on now, where we all ascend together and kind of, some of the corruption is going to get pushed aside. I kind of think that's why we've got things like Brexit, why the riots in France are occurring, why we've got crazy chaos going on in the United States, why we've got all Puerto Rico and all these. I mean, there's just stuff going on. All Australia's got issues. New Zealand has issues. Canada's got issues. There are issues all over the place right now. I think we're changing. And so the Mayans, I think, were pretty hip. I don't know, there's something kind of cool. From what I understand, they sort of just disappeared as a group, which is pretty freaking neat if you think about it. That doesn't normally happen. So I don't know, something going on with all that. I think that's very, very cool. Let's see. Autumn Beauty, everyone, remember you are loved. Yeah, that's an important thing, by the way. Everyone, you are loved. Autumn Beauty, thank you. You are unique, you're wonderful, you're amazing individuals who are worthy and deserving of wonderful things. I want everybody to hear this one more time. If you're busy typing, stop for a second. Everyone, remember you are loved. You are unique, wonderful, amazing individuals who are worthy and deserving of wonderful things. That is what gets you to manifestation, realizing that we are worthy of the things that we desire and that our desires are okay to have. So yes, Autumn Beauty, thank you. That was so perfectly stated. You're amazing. David Lai, I finally caught up to you, and you again, thank you for your super chat. You are amazing. I have been manifesting my SP, and now I am seeing people that look like my SP. Oh, so how is that? Yeah, so thank you. You're responding for that. Dude, really? Thanks, man. That's so cool. Let's see. Boggle Reed, what action would I take to manifest a house? A house, you are going to imagine the house. Imagine the rooms. Imagine seeing it. Imagine, if there's a specific city that you're trying to get to, then kind of you can incorporate that. But a lot of the times you can kind of walk through what floor plan you kind of want, how you want the master bedroom, the closets, the bathrooms, the kitchen, the living room, the garage, whatever the stuff is. Imagine backyard, you got a pool, you got grass, whatever. Imagine the whole shindig. See yourself in it. Now, what Neville would say, and this is what you should do, and I agree with it 100%, is go to sleep every night in that house, in your mind. Every night, fall asleep in that house. Be in that house. When you wake up, or before you're even falling asleep, you can see yourself walking around in the house, getting ready for bed. See yourself in that house as much as you possibly can. Get excited about that house, and then things will start to unfold. Now, is it just going to fall out of the sky and land right in front of where you're at? No. So there might be some things that happen. There might be meeting people. Maybe you're renting because I don't have a job right now. Like, who knows? But don't worry about the how, but keep holding on to it. And then understand that stepping stones will get you to that place. Things will pop up that will make that dream a reality. It'll help make that dream a reality. Again, stepping stones. I see it like those stones when you walk through a garden, right? And you place the stones down so people don't just walk all willy-nilly and trample whatever, but then in fact step on the stones themselves. I kind of feel like that's how it happens, is stepping stones to your destination form. And so you may not know where that 15th stepping stone is or what you're going to see when you're on it, but you will find that during that stepping stone, something will kind of happen. I don't know why that happens. It's so strange. Anyway, weird things with YouTube sometimes. They just show like a whole gap here where I got like 10 minutes of missing time. Like nobody was watching me for 10 minutes apparently, which I don't think is true. It's just so strange. Let's see, Gus, I have dreams where my manifestations were achieved, and recently my dreams are showing me the opposite. The theme of the manifestation is there, but I no longer have achieved it. Why is this? Honestly, the thing that pops out to me, the first thing, is that you seem to think that your dreams were an indication of what was actually going to happen in your reality. And again, you're placing it outside of yourself. So your higher self's like, no, I'll show you cool stuff sometimes in your dream, but you're misunderstanding what I'm telling you. And that's what your higher self's trying to get your attention right now. Like, no, that's not right. Stop thinking that your dreams are an indication of your reality. Your reality is the dream that you hold within yourself. You hold the dream there, then you will start to notice your dreams come back to what you expect. But you're seeing it the other way. You're kind of putting the cart before the horse almost. You're wanting the dream to show that I'm getting confirmation. The confirmation is knowing that I'm creating what I'm thinking about. There shouldn't be an external confirmation needed, right? If I know I have it, if I know that, then do I need a confirmation or do I know it? And if we're asking for a confirmation, well, then you don't really know it, do you? So it's that catch-22. And when we realize when we're doing that and go, no, I know this and I don't need the confirmation, I got this. Boom. So we get challenges. I see it kind of like levels. Seriously, like I think there's certain levels to manifesting, and ultimately we'll shed certain beliefs along this evolution, and we'll start to understand things with a deeper level. I think that's why I sometimes a certain individual in our channel that I sometimes, because you're like my most hopeful student, but you are stubborn sometimes. It's okay though. It's okay. I am too. I am super stubborn. Conservative Truth Network. I've manifested a large amount of money quickly within 48 hours due to the Abraham Hicks teaching. Dan, what is the quickest amount of time you've manifested something, and what was it? Like, I mean, what? I don't know. In a day, 4 hours. I don't know. I think the question's kind of silly. I'll be honest. Like you're prefacing it with a, hey, I've done something in 2 days. What's the fastest you've manifested? I'm not here to compete nor compare. That's awesome is how I see it. Congratulations. I've manifested all sorts of stuff very quickly. I'm constantly manifesting things. Parking places. The other day I was in a parking lot and I'm like, oh, it's packed. You know what? We'll get an open spot. And I went like one row and then a spot opened up. I mean, come on. That's a silly question. Guys, I'm sorry. I think it's a silly question. We're all manifesting constantly. It's silly. Dan, this is actually later than usual, but I've not been on the past 3 times. Oh, you haven't? I guess, okay. Without fun, I don't know what that's about. Dan, I get a slot of signs. Hang on, Purple Love It. Dan, yeah, I get a slot of signs in physical reality when I'm out of balance. There you go, yeah. A lot of signs, there you go. That's what I find, folks. It's kind of how I tell where I'm at consciously. And again, I've been talking a lot about how it's this aligning of my conscious and subconscious. And when I get my conscious mind in line with life's good, like I'm not having little fights in my mind with people. I'm not thinking bad thoughts or entertaining how my channel's not growing fast enough or something silly like that, right? Like it's like, whoa, no, everything's cool. Everything's happy. Everything's working great. Everything's playing out perfectly. And so it's that reminder that I do when I notice like, red lights start showing up or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, we need to get ourselves back in line here because something's out of focus. And again, what's going on inside yourself shows outside yourself pretty quickly, actually. When your consciousness shifts inside, your outer world, it's like I said, it's like changing glasses, and it's almost instant, if not instant. I mean, it's very amazing how it plays out. So that is awesome. Let's see. So what do I visualize first, the money or the house? You visualize the house. The money's the how. You're focused on the how. You don't want to do that, Boggle Reed. You want to focus on the house. And isn't that really ultimately what you want? Or is it like I've got to have the money more? Because it depends what you really want. But if it's ultimately a house, what if you're a roommate in that house? Or what if you've got this perfect house and maybe the woman of your dreams happens to live there and own it and her parents pass away and all of a sudden you're moving in with her? Like, there's a lot of ways things can play out that don't necessarily require you to have money. Now, you might, and that might be fun. I mean, I've got a condo. It was cool to come up with the money. I'm saving for a better, bigger thing as well right now. And so that's part of the process and can be. So again, how do you want to come at it? But I would ultimately stick with the house and come at it from that angle, and that's where I spend my time with it. Is I've got pretty much all the rooms worked out. I even think I got my studio figured out in there. I'm kind of excited about it because I don't think it's too terribly far away. It feels like it's, I don't know. I don't want to put time on it, but it's out there. It's happening. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. Even Jesus forgave his murderers on the cross. Forgive thy Father. They don't know what they forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Ultimately, we're all on our own little journeys, man. I think sometimes people get a little uppity at others, and there's no reason for that ever. So it's not necessary. It's very awesome. Danny, keep up the God work task. Thank you, Judge Washington, by the way, because very few people call me Danny. It's only people that have actually known me prior to high school. That was when I switched to Dan. Stepped up in the world because Danny just felt so childish, right? And then some people call me Daniel, but it's oddly here. Let's see if I can get it right. I'm going to mess up your name. Oksana? I think I got it. Anyway, you did try to correct it in an email, and I've already forgotten how to properly pronounce it. Sorry. You answered my question about the ex on Tuesday. I released him to make room for a new person in my life. Oh, wow. And it was Tuesday. A couple days later, had a falling out with my old friends. Is the universe cleansing my surrounding for new? Yes. Someone was even talking earlier, Oksana, about, I'm so sorry if I'm messing it up, but they were talking about how sometimes you want to stay away from the toxic people. Those toxic people can bring you down in large ways. Those toxic people can bring your consciousness down. I've said it before. this is definitely from like Rich Father Poor, whatever the heck that whole thing is. A lot of those success money books that are out there. But I'm already forgetting my train of thought. Oh, it talks about the 5 people that you've got around you. The 5 closest people you have around you pretty much represent your core consciousness. When you've shifted your consciousness up and you start realizing that everyone's kind of oddly, not beneath you, but I don't know, worried about things that don't matter, talking about silly things, always arguing, always angry, whatever, then sometimes, you will find that those people will start to fall out of your life. And when they do, it can be it can be an odd experience when you go through that. It is so weird why it does that. Literally 20 minutes of, it's just got this giant gap. It's so strange. I don't understand YouTube sometimes. Anyway, whatever. If they're unhappy, they're unhappy. Is universe cleansing my surroundings? Probably. Dan, I speak of what you believe. You will get the evidence of you. Yes, there you go. Peter, thank you, man. You're awesome. Again, that was a super chat. Good guy. I appreciate you guys tremendously. That is fantastic. Let's see. Someone's saying I need to get a couch. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't watch or listen to the news. Christina, that's definitely a good thing for you. Again, if anyone's got questions, bring them in. I've still got quite a few viewers in here. If you guys have questions or things you want to share, things that are working out. Again, it's just hanging out, man. We're having a good time. We're talking about all sorts of good stuff. There's like about 18 conversations going on simultaneously. It is very good for show. All right, let's see. Okay, top content. My dad ended up getting a BMW and hanging out in a yacht. My coworker got a new house. My buddy got a high-paying job. I think I'm close. Yeah, kind of sounds like it's me. And if not, it's great to have friends like that anyway, because you might get to spend some time on that yacht, right? Now, here's the thing that I've found when these experiences are happening, and I think you're very close. When you get to hang out in those situations, in those places, like when you get to hang out on a yacht or run around in a Bugatti or whatever the heck, right? When you get to feel that, like you're like, this is what rich people feel like. This is how it is for them. And it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty neat experience, but that's that feeling of wealth. And that is the thing that really ultimately needs to expand. If you want more money in your life, you've got to get more of that feeling of wealth, that feeling like I've already got it. All of this money is flowing in constantly. And it is. And that's the cool part about it. You've got to see it that way. You've got to know that's what's happening. Keep feeding your subconscious that same line over and over and over and over, because it happens and you believe it and you start seeing it and you keep believing it, and it feeds itself. And so long as you keep the consciousness in line with yourself, the outer world will keep feeding that same belief again, because the outer world will reflect the inner world. And if you like what you're seeing in the outer world, awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, give yourself a chance to keep experiencing it and keep getting yourself to that place, and you'll find that it actually becomes much easier. Cool. Dan Friends is making I saw that. I saw that they're going to come back and do all the episodes. They're all getting paid, too. So anyway, sorry, Lisa Marie's in here. Dan, the Friends is making a comeback. So the people that like the show Friends, which is a great show, they are all getting paid $2.5 million the episode that they're going to do. And I think they're just doing one episode. I don't know if they're coming back for more. Maybe they are. Maybe that's what you're telling me, because I haven't dug into it. Maybe they're getting paid $2.5 million per episode, which, wow, that's just so awesome. But yeah, love that show. Very excited about that. That is super duper cool. Christopher Pullen. Yeah, you're a name I see frequently. Thank you. And I love seeing you and you chime in. You've always got some awesome comments. Let's see. As the inner man creates the outer man, always grateful for your show. Thank you. I will shake your hand and hug you soon, sir. Love you. Love all. Yes, thank you. Will, for sure. Definitely going to be appearances in the future. This is something I talk with all the people that I do any sort of collaboration work with. And ultimately, that's all I'm trying to do, is build this like big enough group of us that we could theoretically go to a location and hopefully book enough people to make it worth all of our time, right? So that's kind of where we're getting to, and that's something that I'm working on manifesting as well, and manifesting with many, many people, co-creating, as they would say. You shouldn't talk about your manifestations, so I don't know why I am, but whatever. I don't really listen to other people when they tell me anything, so that's fine. Rooted reality. I ask Google for houses for sale, an area I want. Hit Zillow, imagine each room. That's a good way to go about it. I mean, certainly, yeah. Find the area you want to go, and yeah, go to Zillow or some of these different sites and see what's out there. And sometimes even I've used Pinterest before and looked up kitchens, remodel kitchen, like stuff like that, just to get a good idea of what I want my kitchen to look like. For me, it's, again, I love cooking. The kitchen is place I spend a good chunk of time, not all day or anything, but I love cooking. Just love it. It's therapeutic for me. I love the feel of a good knife in my hand, and I just enjoy the hell out of it. Anyway, I have issues. I think that's apparent to anybody that knows me. Neville, that's okay, or just focus into one scene. I don't know. Did you have a question? Oh, Dan, sometimes I visualize multiple scenes from the same result. We spoke about this early on. Like winning the lottery, sometimes I visualize me with a bag of money, and sometimes I visualize telling my family and giving them the money. Is that okay? So as I've kind of told you a few times now, Neville, you need to feel it. It's not just seeing it in your mind, but feeling like I've got a bag of money. What does that feel like? If you had a bag of money sitting in your closet right now, what would you feel like? How would you feel? Would you feel different? Would you feel better? Do you walk into the grocery store and go, nah, I can't buy that, it's too expensive? Do you have that kind of consciousness? If you think and believe that way, you'll be poor. If you think and believe in the abundance, that I have abundance constantly, that everything's coming to me, that I've got a bag in my closet and I'm filling it with money every single day, like if you've seen it happen and flow, then yeah, it works out good for you. If you can feel yourself being that. But if you're just seeing green, or if you're just seeing numbers, or you're just trying to imagine a stack of hundreds, I mean, it can help if you see it in your hand, it can, and it can kind of, to a point, get you to that feeling. But it's not the thing as much as the abundance, the flow, especially when it comes to wealth. Money flows. Money's a flow. It's one of those things where if you crimp the flow, you'll kill the whole entire thing with money. It can be very scary when it happens, but again, it's a flow. You want to get that flowing in and out, going around. Again, you can put stuff off to savings, that's fine. You can put stuff off in investments, it's fine, but again, it's still flowing. It's still moving around. All right. Rooted Reality knows the house they want. That is awesome. Let's see. Thanks so much for that. You're very welcome. A Boggle Raid, I think it is. Let's see. Neville, the main thing is to create a scene that you can feel so real. That's probably what you're saying. So real to you that you can feel it, actually have it. Yeah, that's Purple Lava giving advice. Certainly good advice about you want to feel the thing before you have it. What do you do if you ask people about your career goals, but you know they'd react negatively? My dad asks often, but I haven't told him because he reacts badly to me saying I want to be a singer. There's two ways to go about it, I guess. If you know for sure someone's asking you a question, and if you answer honestly, and they're going to be all mad at you, or it's going to create some sort of thing, I personally am not opposed to not being honest with them. I think it's, if people feel like they've got to rain on your parade and they've asked you a question and that's their intention, even if it's your dad, you can say, I'm interested in maybe looking at this or that. If you want to be honest, and I do recommend it, it usually works better, to be like, Dad, I'm going to be a singer. And yeah, and you let them be mad and be like, I understand that, but I'm going to work hard and I got the side job to help make money and whatever. It's my dream and I'm going to follow my dream and do it. I certainly did. I did get into kind of more of a normal traditional job later on down the road, but I also still work in radio. I'm in one of the largest media companies in the world. So I still work in the business. I just work on a different side of it, and I still get to do, like I do voiceover work for training videos that we do with our software. I'm involved with YouTube. I've got the podcast, which is basically the same thing. So again, I've still got these outlets where I get to experience what I loved about my dream and desire. I just do it in a different way now, and so I've found that that's kind of grown with me through the years. But yeah, pursue singing. It's certainly a lot to be said about that. I know a number of people that are musicians, artists, and all that stuff. So yeah, go for it. I love the stepping stone analogy. Thank you, Rooted Reality. I fantabulous. Let's see. Timing is everything. Everything has its appointed time. Took me 1.5 years to move a house, but I moved the perfect time. Trust the process. I like the trust the process a lot. Yeah, and everything is really going to happen in its appropriate time, but you have it right now. It unfolds as it unfolds, and it happens in but a moment's time. I mean, yeah, try not to get specific and try not to push it out into the future is really the advice I generally give. And so long as we can keep that going, you are good. Let's see. Dan, oh, shucks. Wow. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Is there? Is there that much? Holy crap. Okay, Dan, what is magic? Not magic with a CK. I don't know. I don't know what magic with a CK is. I could look it up probably, but it's not something I follow or study or whatever. I've heard some different. It's bringing connotations of what I think it means, but I'm not going to get off onto the dark magic path and talk about that. I think that's what it gets into. Let's see. Thank you. Artemisa de la Luna, thank you for your kind words. Let's see. Kim, thank you if you're still around. Yeah, she bailed out. It's so sad. A lot of people saying hi. Hi, how are you? I'm good, Heba. Thank you. Let's see. Artemisa de la Luna. What do you think when you no longer want to assume, imagine your desire, you were like, whatever, and think about it, but you don't really care that much like before? Sometimes we change. Sometimes things we outgrow desires. There were certain things I used to want to be. I used to want to be a fireman. Kind of outgrew that, right? I don't really want to be a fireman anymore. Don't feel like I missed out on life. But there are certainly some other dreams that I still want to fulfill. So sometimes we outgrow desires. That being said, sometimes it's good to let go, and you'll see that the desires actually start to come to fruition quicker when we get out of our own way sometimes, or at least we start to see more stuff happening because we stop focusing on how it's not happening. But that can happen. That's okay. It's okay to change your mind and manifest something different. It's totally okay. Like, you might still manifest something and be like, all right, well, I don't want it anymore. Thank you. Bye-bye. And that could be the end of it. So that is awesomeness. Let's see. Thanks for your continued encouragement, Dan. Some good things have come to pass for sure, Charles. Lyle? Oh, right. Love each other, everyone. It's all right to disagree. It sure is. That's very, very, very true. Back to giving my full attention to Danny Boy. Oh, thanks, Lisa Marie. Back to that. I just turned 56, Christina, no way. And I refuse to spend my remaining years in what used to be making the most of it. You have a much younger energy about you, for sure. That's pretty awesome. Good for you. Good for you. Let's see. And we have Dan. Yay. Let's see. Let's see what's going on in here. I don't know why she's hiding. Shouldn't. Uh-oh. There we go. No. Losing sight here. Sorry, guys. It bounces sometimes, so it's like you could scroll down a whole bunch. Like, whoa, where did it go? Okay, Valia7449. Doing self-love practices, will that help manifest SP or someone better and new job? Yes, self-love practices are just honestly one of the best things you can do for yourself. Just making sure you're being as good to yourself as you possibly can is awesome. I think that's excellent advice, for sure. I don't think I need to jump down too many deep paths. Jessica Fritz, do you think we are here to bring heaven to earth as the spiritual world fully recommends the physical world? Heaven is already on earth, if you realize that. So we're not necessarily here to bring something. That's basically what, quote, Christ did, right? He brought heaven to earth already for us. And it's through the Christ conscience or through the God component of ourselves that we manifest our desires and manifest heaven on earth. So but I think ultimately it's a personal thing for each of us. Not necessarily everyone else needs to experience my heaven. Like, I'm not doing them for favors per se, though what generally benefits me does benefit others generally, but not in a selfish way. But usually what benefits others benefits ourselves. Anyway, it's a big, we're all one thing, right? We all love each other. I don't know. I mean, that's a deep question that we could spend an entire hour talking about. But ultimately, heaven, I think, is already here. I think that's what they've tried to teach us. That's very, very cool. Okay, Karen and Jeffrey Pearl still around. It's awesome. It's Karen's question. Hello, Karen. How do we donate? Always up for collective manifestings, and you have nearly 100 people here all wanting to support you. In the link, there's within the video, there's a little PayPal me thing. If you guys want to donate, that's awesome. And then they also have the super chats that happen within YouTube, and you can pay that way as well. That's awesome. If you guys want to pay me, that's fantastic. And it's really nice of you to say. I don't usually ask for it. I don't know, because I feel weird about it, but that's very awesome. I know I need to probably get over that, but at the same time, I think that some people appreciate the fact that I don't bring it up often. So that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if any of you want to donate, please, in the description of the video, there's a PayPal link. You can use that, certainly. And then on top of that, there is a way to super chat within these chats, and you can do that. And that's also another great way you can immediately pay money. In fact, I think we've had two people. We had a David Lai that did, and a Peter Cast that super chatted earlier, and that was very, very awesome. You guys are the best. Really do. I got to say, I've got one of the coolest audiences that's out there, so I appreciate that. A try mentor to me, you are, sir. Thank you very much. Love your work. As Neville is to many, you save your own simplicity to your work. I love you. You're awesome. Thank you. And I appreciate that, Christopher, because, yeah, that's kind of the way I come at it. Thank you for noticing. I really try hard. I don't like tooting my horn. I absolutely hate tooting my own horn. It just makes me feel weird. I don't like it. Miss Hill, Dan, when should we give up on SP like some reasons? Can you explain the tow truck driver thing again? I can't find the video. A lot of times when we're at lower places in our lives, lower consciousness in our lives, we will manifest people from that place. And as we come across law of attraction or awakening or all sorts of things, we start to realize that there's things we can do with ourselves, that we deserve better. We start to really look at life differently, and we start to expand our consciousness. Now, if the person that you were attracted to hasn't expanded their consciousness and you have, they start to look like a tow truck driver. Kind of, they look like that greasy. I mean, you might be into that, so I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's wrong, but you know, they're kind of like that greasy under the fingernails under their thing. They've got like missing teeth, you know, whatever. They got a bad accent, whatever the thing is. And so, a lot of people will try to use law of attraction to change that person to be what they want them to be, not what they are. Like, I don't really like you how you are anymore. Now I want you to awaken with me, and I want you to realize this, and I want you to understand that, and blah, blah, blah. When that's the angle we're coming at it, I generally feel like that's not probably the right path for you. Like, it might be better to look at it like maybe I should let that go. Maybe I've outgrown this individual or the love of this individual or whatever. And maybe it's time for me to imagine what really is an awesome relationship. What is my understanding of my stockbroker, if you will, and I'm only using that in relative terms. Like it's not like a stockbroker is better than a tow truck driver or any kind of stupid thing like that. But from a society standpoint, like, you know, the stockbroker's probably making gobs of money and super successful, but he could be a jerk at home, right? Again, just from the reality, from the standpoint, when you expand yourself, you attract what's equal to you right now. And so if you've got something that you attracted a long time ago or were attracted to a long time ago and you've way outgrown it and they still just don't want to change, that's how I come at it. I don't believe, and I know Neville's talked about, you can't use law of attraction to force anybody to become what they aren't. You can try to influence people, but if they don't want to do what you're suggesting, if it doesn't feel natural to them, it gets reflected back to us. And so it doesn't really do what we want it to. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Hope that helps, Kim. I know that's another tough subject, by the way, because again, if you're someone that wants your SP and you're like, I can't listen to anything but I'm going to succeed. Yeah, keep succeeding. You keep going what you're going to. But if you're trying to change somebody to fit your mold, might look at it a little differently. And what I always ask people to do, and you can keep wanting to be with whoever you want, but script out all the things that a relationship should be. Write out all the things that you deserve in a relationship, that you want to experience in a relationship, that you want from this partner. And when you script it out, when you really get detailed about it, one of two things happens. Either one of three things maybe. We kind of look at the SP that we're currently into and assess them relative to that new list. And maybe they pass, maybe they fail. Maybe that helps make the decision. But the other thing that kind of happens is you open to the universe like, hey, here's what I want, here's what I desire. And you actually create an avenue to meet somebody new that actually will fall into that. And potentially, like I said, maybe your person gets on board and joins the train, but sometimes they don't. Kim, thank you if you're still around. You're the best. You've stuck around a lot longer than initially I thought. Kitchen's the heart of the home. I like that. Vonda, that's awesome. I love cooking too, so there you go. I love to love. I actually do love to love. So that's kind of a very cool analogy. Love that. Tim Wood, can you shift into a parallel reality where winter doesn't exist and it's perpetually summer all year round? If so, how do you do that? I know lots of people hate winter, cold, and snow. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, this is one thing. I know people that talk about transurfing reality say you can, so okay, you probably can. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever considered moving? Like, there's places in the world. I live in one of them, Southern California. It's gorgeous here. Granted, it's expensive, but whatever. But there's places in the world that are nicer weather year-round, for most of the year anyway. So you can have that reality currently, but that's where I get confused. Sometimes people are like, no, but I don't want to do it like that. I want to, stay where I'm at, and I don't want to move, but I want, my local experience of the weather to change. Probably could. I'm not an expert on that. I don't spend a lot of time trying to do that. I would say, hey, move. That would be my suggestion. There's already a very easy way to handle that problem. But I don't know. I've seen reality change. I don't know, like shifting into other careers, stuff like that. Like I've used it for things more along those lines and trying to kind of branch into a different direction. But I don't know. Maybe. I'm not an expert on that. That's for sure. Let's see. They'd much rather it be warm all the time. That's right. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Karen. That was really sweet of you. Thank you. That was very, very sweet. I just bounced me all the way down there, but I'm really happy you did. Dan, don't forget about coming to see us following in London. Oh yeah, I want to get out in London for sure. Because Anya, she's out there. And I've never been to London, by the way. I'm very much looking forward to going out there. And for sure, when I go to London, I will be looking up Anya's for sure. We'll definitely be doing something live with her, and yeah, for sure, that's a guarantee. I'm so looking forward to going out there. That's gonna be exciting. Let's see, yeah, yay. Autumn Beauty, I'm in London. Where are you? Yay, Tim Wood. Well, you are one with all. We are all one with all. I love that, especially the elements. I love it. That's fantastic. Let's see here. And again, if you guys have questions, anything like that, feel free to chime in, chat, questions, things that are working for you, things that aren't. We're gonna keep trying to go a little bit here. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see how much longer. I've got a meeting in about 40 minutes, and I want to give myself a small break between these things. Oh, brown rice in Japan's back. I love it. Do you see a picture in your mind while you imagine? I have a hard time seeing pictures in my mind, so usually try to hear voices instead. No, you don't have to, and we've talked about that before. There is, I think the lullaby method is the one that I used in my video where it talks about saying the words over and over when you're falling asleep and as you're falling asleep, and it's not so much the vision as much as it is just the words and saying that over and over and over. So yeah, absolutely. It's really about trying to get to the feeling, and that's important. Let's see. Miss Terry. Hi, Dan. Just joined. Hey, cool. What time are you here until? Probably maybe another 10, 15 minutes. Let's see. Lying Wellness. I manifested air travel for a year, no extra money needed, and I'm on my way to Amsterdam as we speak. That is awesome. Good for you, man. That's great success. It'd be cool if you want to share what techniques you generally use, or you just like constantly saying, I'm always getting trips and never having to pay anything, and I get to travel all over. You just kind of constantly saying positive type things, or yeah, what's your secret? You can share with us. That happens. Let's see. As Neville says, everything that happened in someone's imagination first. That is very true. Nothing happens in the void of thinking about it. It kind of can't exist without thought. Many say in the beginning was logos, which some say light, and it's been translated as light, but actually there are a lot of people, and I kind of believe it's true, that it's not that light was the first thing, but thought. First thing was the word or thought or the understanding of an idea. That was logos, I believe. Anyway, so that's one of the things that's out there. It's kind of fun. Maybe it's Maybelline. What do you got going on? What do you think about serious mental issues in our SP and manifesting? Do you think that it's an obstacle? Because lately I've been feeling anxious about the mental crisis of my BF. He's in a mental ward. Is that an obstacle? Well, I mean, obviously while he's in there, that's not going to work, but you can't focus on the obstacle. You want to just be with him and be together. Then you keep focusing on that. You keep focusing on him getting out and how excited you are to meet him. And like you've got all sorts of things kind of built around that. If that's what you want to do, then for sure, that's a good idea. And for some reason, I don't know. Yeah, just for the time being, while you want to keep that going, see it happening. Live in the reality of the wish fulfilled. Live there. Don't worry about the obstacle. Be past the obstacle in your mind, and things will work themselves out. That's the best way to come at that from what you're asking. Let's see. Artemis de la Luna. True, one can change or let it go. Feel good. Love it. Love it. How far back can revisions go? I don't think there's a timeline for them. I mean, I think you can go back as far as you want. To my understanding, and the way Neville states it is, and I know this is understood differently, but I'm just going to say it in his words, and I'll let you guys believe what you want to believe with it. But he says, from the moment that you do the revision, from that time forward, from the moment of the time you interact forward, something along those lines. So he makes it sound like it's from the revision, from the past, like from that thing that you've revised forward, or from your now forward. And whichever you believe he's saying, I say keep believing. That's perfect. All right. I think I'm done of spending all the energy to manifest. SP, I'm done. Awesome, the Lucas C1. So do script out all the things you would like in a relationship. Let go of the SP for a while. Think of all the things you'd like in a relationship, like if you just had the perfect relationship. Write all that out, and you'll be amazed at what you end up seeing in your life. It's a very powerful thing when that happens. Heba, so I've been consciously manifesting my SP since a year. Somehow I feel I haven't progressed very much. All he does is mirror my photos on Instagram, like poses in the same way, etc., to get my attention. Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't. It sounds like you guys have an interesting relationship. He certainly seems like he's trying to play with you. It sounds like you've got beliefs that he's not necessarily fulfilling things in the way you would like him to, so which to me kind of sounds like you're creating a bit of a block within your own mind. Like you've got an expectation that things are supposed to be a certain way in the outer world, and since they're not, I'm not happy about it. When you really want to be living in the end more and letting this evolve and letting it get to that place. So that is just awesome. Thank you so much, Karen and Jeffrey, for your guys's for your post. That's for the super chat. That's super sweet of you. Super sweet on super chat. Thank you. Let's see, Dan. Those tow truck drivers, are you pushed out? There you go. Exactly. That's what they are. We can't change anyone. I agree with that. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I know a lot of people want to say you can. That's fine. If you believe that, believe that. That's cool. I have one of the most taking the foot. Huh? Hang on. Oh, that's to someone else anyway. That's cool. Let's see here. Yeah, we are getting there. I love manifesting. Information's my own rampages. Mental diet. Mental diet is very important, by the way. Living wellness. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Good for you. Oh, you went to donate $50, dude. That's super sweet. $1.99 is totally cool. You don't need to get all crazy like that. That's awesome of you, Karen. Though. Thank you. Very sweet of you. Very sweet of you. That $1.09. I was happy with that. Thank you, Autumn and Dan. Woohoo! I visualized a trip to another country to meet an SP. Over a period of a few months last year, I stopped doing it, let it go for a while, and now, hey, presto, it's going to happen. See? I'm telling you, a lot of the times, like, letting go of the effort. So many people do this effort to manifest. Stop. Like, get out of your way. Like, if it's tiring, you're doing something that's kind of, it's not the techniques you're doing it wrong. You're seeing it, like, wrong. Like, you're not understanding you already have the thing you desire. And so you feel like you got to keep doing the technique to create it. And it's no, you've already got it. You already have it. Stop separating yourself from it and thinking you don't have it. You have it already right now. It's awesome. So hopefully it helps. All right, looks like we're getting down to the end here. And just to remind all you guys that actually know me better that I normally have music. It's so disappointing. I don't know if I can do a little bit more at the beginning of this song. Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, I totally threw away my disc. It had 3 songs on it that I typically play for YouTube. So I got to find those songs again and reburn them. But, oops. Anyway, so I can play, I think, a couple moments of this. And I'm not going to push it too far because I think YouTube will give me a hard time with it. But, I think I can probably pull this song off. That being said, you guys are the best. Thank you all for joining me on this hangout. We'll be doing it again on Saturday next week. You guys like doing this and enjoy it? Come join us. Come be with here. Come be part of the family, part of the group, and we'll continue to do this. Thank you all. You're the best. Stand Radio Style.